Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline for Pixie Dust PhD. I am filming this on Friday, November 11th, 2022. That means this is the month 33 creator update. As per usual, we'll go over a little bit of Disney Vacation Club and Walt Disney World news that I find to be interesting, and then we'll do stats and analytics for this past month as well as the lifetime of the channel. Stay tuned. Let's start with the big DVC news, which is as per usual for this time of the year, annual dues were released. Riviera again didn't see much of an increase, which I think is good considering what those annual dues debuted at. They were already quite high, so I think that had a little bit over a 1% increase, but pretty much everything else was like 4% to 8%, with a lot in the mid 6% to high 7%. Beach Club and Poly both got hit with annual dues increases of slightly more than 8%. Is a lot. Yeah, annual dues increases this year were pretty high in my opinion. Annual dues did not escape inflation. I anticipate making a full video about annual dues that you'll see in the next few-ish weeks, so we won't necessarily dive into details here, but yeah, that announcement happened recently. It was bad. Generally, I feel like you can expect annual dues to increase between like 3 and 5% a year, and my home resort wasn't hit too bad, thankfully, but yeah, the amount that were in the 6% and over was, I don't think surprising is right, just given how like the economy and inflation and everything has been, but I mean, it feels unusual to me. This also exemplifies basically what I mean when I say like your annual dues really add up over time, because they are going to go up every year, and some years they'll go up apparently 8%. For those of you out there who are home resort owners, I hope you didn't get hit too bad, or I mean, if you did, I hope you were at least prepared for that reality. So, annual dues are coming up here. If you pay them in one installment, they're technically due mid-January, I think, though you get till mid-February usually for a grace period, or you can do them monthly if you qualify. Like I said, a video will be coming out, so more on that later. Walt Disney World-wise, I felt like it was actually kind of a light news month, and or maybe I just wasn't paying very much attention, but a big one for me is that Fantasmic is back at Hollywood Studios. They've also made some updates to some of the story elements, as well as I think there were some technical updates, so maybe the projections on the water screens look better. I haven't looked into it too deeply. I do tend to stay like somewhat spoil-free, so I don't anticipate necessarily that I will like watch a YouTube video of the update of Fantasmic until I get to see it, which won't be for like a year. But I'm really happy it's back. I think, I've seen some minor spoilers for the updates. I'm excited about some of the new show scenes that they have incorporated with maybe some of my favorite characters. Although, Merida continues to be like the ugly stepchild, but she has a meet and greet at least, so I'll be quiet. I believe Fantasmic was the last thing we did on our 2019 trip, which also we went like just before Veterans Day, so it's pretty much the 3-year anniversary of that trip. I really like Fantasmic. I haven't seen the one in Disneyland. I know people always say that one's so much superior. Even if that's true, that doesn't mean that the one in Walt Disney World's bad. So, I'm excited to see it come back. I can't wait to go see it when we are in Hollywood Studios next, which again is probably like a year from now. It's not quite sussed out yet. Let me know how you feel about it. And if you have seen the updated version, do you think it's a market improvement? Otherwise, in terms of Disney World news, to me, it's basically just that, holiday time is up and running. So we've gotten most of the announcements for holiday entertainments offerings. The foodie guide is out. There's a couple things in there that look really good, but do note that the dates are quite limited for some of them. So some of these offerings are a month and a half or so, like mid-November through the end of December. For example, there's a riff on an old fashioned at Tusker House that sounds really good. It's called In Holiday Fashion, and it's a bourbon cocktail with rosemary simple syrup, cranberry, lime, and cinnamon. If I was going to Tusker House during this time period, I would definitely be getting one of those. But an example of more limited dates is over at Satu'li Canteen. Supposedly only from December 22nd through December 31st, they're doing a different dessert. It's a take on that beautiful glossy dome cake thing they do, but it is a peppermint cream cheese mousse. I'm not really a mint fan at all, but it looks super cute, and if you are a mint fan, I bet this is really good. But again, it's only available for like a weekend change in theory. If you are traveling outside of those dates, it never hurts to necessarily kindly ask a cast member if the specialty item happens to be available. Sometimes it is. I'm definitely not going to say majority of the time or anything, but you can ask nicely. But if you are going during peak holiday time, there usually are some of these supplemental food, entertainment, etc. offerings to try to keep guests happy and engaged. We have gone down to Walt Disney World during early December before. I think it's such a magical, lovely time. I really enjoyed the iteration of Epcot's Festival of the Holidays that we got to sort of partake in, and if you're going down anytime soon, I hope that you enjoy all the theme parks and resorts dressed up for the holidays. I definitely want to make it back down in that early December time frame at some point, but with my current job, it's kind of like not allowed. So, you have those peak times at work where you really like can't be gone unless it's a literal emergency. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll switch jobs at some point. That's really all I had news-wise that I wanted to touch on. Like I said, it felt like a light month to me, or I have just been buried in work and not necessarily paying attention. If there's other Disney news you want to talk about, let me know in the comments down below. Flag for me what important things I missed. Moving on to analytics, we will start with monthly analytics only. Just for month 33, I pulled these stats from October 11th through November 10th, so the full monthly period. Technically, during this time period, we posted 6 videos. Way at the beginning of the month was the favorite Walt Disney World quick service locations for snacks and real meals that my partner and I had that discussion on. Then the monthly creator update from last month. I posted another entry into the 7-month availability Disney Vacation Club series. This time we were looking at May of 2023. Then there is the room tour of the Disneyland Paris off-site hotel that we stayed at, so over in the Val d'Europe area, which is just one train station away from Disneyland Paris, super close. It was a nice room. I would suggest it. I definitely thought it was good for our arrival night. Then finally, I posted the video of the DVC comparison between Saratoga Springs and Old Key West. It's been really fun hearing your takes on those. And if there are other comparisons you want me to do, definitely let me know. I know Peter suggested Riviera versus Grand Flow, which is I think a pretty interesting thought. I haven't started scripting that or anything. I need to look at some of the points charts and make sure it's comparable. But yeah, I think that's theme-wise, I get where Peter's going there. Another one that's definitely on my mind for that series would be Boulder Ridge and Copper Creek, of course, because they are literally shared within Wilderness Lodge. I do want to give Boulder Ridge a little bit more time though for that refurb to get going, or it's going, but to be more finished. Right now we only have the preview pictures from the Disney Files magazine, and I would just like to be a little further along in the refurb process so we have a better feel of what those refurb rooms actually will be. I don't think comparing the old Boulder Ridge rooms to the Copper Creek rooms is very fair at the moment. But if there are other DVC comparisons you think would be interesting, definitely let me know. The 2 I've already covered, so Beach Club versus Boardwalk, and now Old Key West versus Saratoga Springs, are the 2 that I most frequently am asked in emails or direct messages or whatever, so the rest are a little bit less obvious to me. And then just barely squeaking into this monthly period, I posted the first vlog from us being at Disneyland Paris in the park, so that was our first proper day. If you haven't watched that yet, please check it out. If for nothing else than to see some clips of Dream and Shine Brighter, which I just, every time I watch clips, it is so good. I can't get over how good that show is. And it's probably one of the only Disney parks related things where I can watch footage online and still get pretty pumped about it. As opposed to, nighttime spectaculars or whatever. If I'm there in person, it's amazing. But then when I watch online, I'm kind of oh, that's nice. With Dream and Shine Brighter, it definitely still is better in person, but the footage online is still yo, this is sick. So that's what we posted this month. Here's what were the top performers this month, though, which, as you know, doesn't always correlate. The new Black Panther movie officially came out today, November 11th, but of course, the way theaters work is you can go see them on the 10th. I had this short from Disneyland Resort of Black Panther doing the Wakanda Forever salute pose thing that I knew I wanted to post at some point. I'd had this edited for a while and I thought I would just time it with the movie, and that definitely worked because that was the #1 video this month. And I also posted that November 10th, which is the last day the stats went through, so that's literally 1 day of stats. Generally, I feel I don't really know how the algorithm works for what gets promoted or what doesn't, especially with shorts. It seems the most random things get promoted there. But tying it to current events was a strategy I wanted to test out, and it definitely seemed to work. So if you're a creator, there's your one tip I can say with some degree of certainty. Then we've got the Disability Access Service Program, 7-month availability DVC, another short from Disneyland, Old Key West for Saratoga Springs, a sneak peek at those Boulder Ridge refurbishments, again from that Disney File magazine, the Disney World ADR tips video, 2 room tours, and then our Walt Disney World quick service chatty video. Overall this month, I think it's a pretty good mix of different types of videos on the topics covered, so Disney World, shorts, Disneyland, Disney Vacation Club, room tours, kind of all present. And notably, at least for me, of these top 10, 6 I actually posted this month. It's not normally the case that more than half of my top 10 is from fresh content, so that's pretty cool. Although 2 of these entries are short, so grain of salt, I guess. Moving into actual stats, so this month we got just over 8,000 views. I will say, of course, those 2 shorts doing well did add up quite a bit. So I think this was about 4,500 views from the proper videos, and then the rest was shorts. And interestingly, even though I had a couple shorts do pretty well, at least for my standards, the amount of unique viewers I reached this month wasn't anything spectacular. We were just under 4,000, which is pretty normal for me, not necessarily something I would expect to see when I'm having good performing shorts. Of those viewers, 424 of you are returning. Thanks again so much for coming back to the channel, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell icon to receive notifications when I upload, sharing with friends, posting on forums, all those things. I super appreciate it. Overall, we got just over 500 watch hours this month, so that is worse than last month, and so that's 2 months in a row of a decrease, which is kind of a bummer, but it's still over 500 total, so I'm definitely not mad about that. And in month 33, we are back up now in the 80,000 range for impressions, with 44.7% of those coming from YouTube. This is a decrease from last month, but it is now my 3rd month in a row at 40% or higher, which is very exciting to me. Watch time from those not subscribed improved just a teeny bit this month, but again, we're hovering closer to 80% than 70%. Kind of a bummer. I wish more people would subscribe, but it is what it is. And overall, we got 39 new subscribers this month, so exactly the same as last month, which is totally fine. It's not bad. It's not great. I'll take it. That being said, 6 new subscribers did come on November 10th, which again is the last day the stats ran through. So prior to yesterday, we were hovering in like the low 30 range, so 1 a day, which is not great. I'm glad I did get that last minute bump, but this whole month kind of felt slow in terms of new subscribers and like overall not very nice, not very great. Over on Twitter, I still have 997 followers, and I'm following 1,224 accounts. And on Instagram, I have 388 followers, and I'm following 568 accounts. A little bit of a rant here. So on Twitter, I've literally been hovering between like 995 followers, and I think I maxed out at 1,008 followers all month. So I don't know if like bots are getting taken down or people are really genuinely actively unfollowing me, but it's been so annoying to like, oh, get over the 1,000 mark, and then the next day be below the 1,000 mark and whatever. I know it doesn't actually matter, but it is just so silly to me that this is the case. Especially again, I am like fairly active on Twitter. I try to be a good community member. I definitely engage with people. Like I think I'm a good follow. So if you have Twitter and you're not following me, if you want to give me a follow, I would appreciate it. On Instagram, I think I only posted once this month. I'm not going to lie, my mental health has been not great this month. I've been pretty swamped at work and haven't really had time to take care of myself. I've not been doing a very good job about setting boundaries. I've barely worked on the channel at all. I'm definitely falling behind in life. So yeah, when I'm like a depressed, sad pile blob girl, the last thing I want to do is be on Instagram, and you can tell. I only even followed a couple of accounts this month. So yeah, this is on me, as per usual. You can kind of tell like when I get slammed, Instagram's the first thing to go. But Twitter, I've been active on Twitter still, so let's chat on Twitter. Anyway, on to lifetime stats then. We are almost at 135,000 views lifetime on the channel, resulting in over 10,900 watch hours. So we are approaching 11,000 total watch hours. Overall, we've now eclipsed more than 1.5 million impressions, and 31.5% of these are coming from YouTube. This lifetime stat has been a slow but steady trickle upward, and I've said this a few months in a row now, but it continues to be true. I'm very proud of this improvement. I think it's definitely saying something about the channel. Watch time from those not subscribed is slightly worse lifetime this month than it was lifetime last month, but we're still hovering in the low 70%. And overall, we are now at 1,068 subscribers. Comparing this month to last month, overall, I would say it's kind of a push. For example, we had the exact same number of new subscribers, so you can see the equalness there. And although I got more views, more impressions, and view duration was up, the watch hours was down, so they weren't long views per se. Like I said, a lot of them came from those couple shorts. Lifetime, we're plucking along, like I said, almost at 11,000 watch hours. Happy about that. Very happy about my impressions from YouTube stat continuing to grow. As always, I wish I had more subscribers, but hopefully I can hit 1,100 next month. Honestly, it will probably be close because I don't tend to do better than about 1.5 new subscribers per day, and that's in a really good month. And we're heading into holiday season where I tend to see engagement drop. Revenue-wise, the trends are very much the same this month as they were last month. In general, I'm making like $1 to $2 a day. It's about $20 every 1,000 times an ad is shown. I've not yet hit the overall $100 revenue mark, which I think is the min amount you need to actually receive a payment. So like as of today, in theory, I've made, $90 or whatever, but there's $0 from YouTube in my bank account. In terms of mid-rolls, I'm still working on how to place them perfectly. I am trying to actively place them during pauses in videos, like natural breaks, not in the middle of a sentence or something, but it's not really working out. So I don't know what the disconnect there is, but I'm looking into it. In general, I'm thinking moving forward, maybe I will try to make more shorter videos that don't even qualify for mid-rolls. I think you have to hit 8 minutes to put a mid-roll ad in. So, in general, the ethos of the channel has always been to try to have shorter content that's information packed for like busy people who don't want to sit and listen to a 45-minute to 1 hour video or podcast or a bunch of blog posts. With some of the more in-depth topics, it's really hard for me to get all of the information in down under, say, like 15 minutes. I think I really strive for staying under 17 minutes, but in my head, I would love that to be under 10. To achieve that, I may just start breaking topics up into smaller pieces and having shorter videos, basically. But let me know what you think about that. Do you prefer the slightly longer videos, say, 12 to 17 minutes that cover a topic more thoroughly? So like the Disability Access Service program is a good example of that. Or I could have probably split that up into subtopics and had a couple shorter videos going over smaller portions. What would you prefer? I definitely don't intend to switch all of the channel over to smaller videos where you have to watch like a series to get all the information you need. I personally don't like it when that's the case. Like sometimes I just want to sit down and I'm like, okay, 15 minutes and I can learn everything I need to know about XYZ. Great. That mentally, psychologically feels better to me than 3 6-minute videos or whatever. But I'm happy to sprinkle in some here or there if that's something you would be interested in. Also, I wanted to ask in general, are you interested in hearing these reflections about revenue in these monthly creator updates or not? I've included them thus far, but we're only on month 2, so definitely I'm happy to adjust. We can take it out. I can try to add some more specific things if you have more specific questions. Happy to try to make this more transparent. Looking forward to the next month of content, we will definitely have the Hotel New York Art of Marble room tour that is done and ready to go. It's a very short follow-up to that, and I mean like 15 seconds or something. I'm going to post a separate video of the TV in our room had a really cute like welcome video for your check-in, so I took some footage of that and I'll post that. Then I do plan to post the conversation I had with my partner about our pet peeves of guest behavior at the Disney parks finally. That's kind of been ready to go for a bit, but I've just been sliding it down to get more pertinent content in. But like I said, as my engagement goes down with the holiday season, I'm gonna try to post some of these things that don't tend to get a ton of views anyway. After that, like I said, I don't actually have anything done because I've been very busy, very slammed, and kind of ignoring / not working on the channel. I do plan to make a Disney Vacation Club annual dues video. I figure that will get posted this monthly period because it is timely and relevant. Then I am actively working on splicing footage together for our second park stay at Disneyland Paris. I will say I've learned I really don't enjoy editing vlogs, like proper vlogs. I think part of it is I'm not that good at filming proper vlogs, so I'm often like splicing audio from a clip where we're like walking somewhere and I'm giving a recap onto video of like the thing actually happening. I don't know, it just takes a lot of work. It's not scripted, so it's not like linear. It doesn't just flow nearly as easily as editing a scripted informational video. So yeah, I find myself putting off editing the vlogs, I think because I find it to be a chore. But I think that will be coming this month if I can force myself to work on it. And then I have information ready to compare Disney Vacation Club if you were to rent a 2-bedroom villa or 2 studios. I think that's actually a really interesting topic. I forget who suggested it. It may have been Jonna or Tara is my guess. Sorry if I misattributed that to either one of you or someone else completely. Yeah, I haven't filmed that yet. I don't know if it'll squeak into this monthly period. If not, I'm hopeful I can post it early in the next monthly period, sort of before people really disappear for like December holidays. I will also warn everyone that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet comes out on Friday, November 18th. So that's about to become my entire personality. I've said this on the channel before, and I think people don't believe it, that like Disney's not one of my main hobbies. And there's plenty of other franchises I am far more invested in, and Pokemon is absolutely one of them. So if I'm very slow to respond to you on YouTube or whatever, you can just bet I am putting hours into that game. But I'm going to try to make sure that content's still being posted, and that's more of a priority than playing Pokemon, but we'll see. And I do think I'm going to take a break sort of in late December, take 1 or 2 weeks off of posting regular videos. I may post a few more shorts just to keep something up on the channel, but, you know, we'll see. I just feel behind as it is. And then with Pokemon coming out and with holidays coming up, like I also have holiday plans and things I want to do. I've got a little trip I'm going to take, all these things. So yeah, based on the feedback from the last video, it sounds like it'll be fine if I disappear for a couple weeks. None of you will be super upset. As always, if you have other ideas for videos, please leave those in a comment down below. I'm happy to cover topics that are relevant to you. I hope you had a good Veterans Day and happy Thanksgiving to my American friends. Stay healthy and well. I hope the rest of your day is magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.